for approving budgets, contracts, personnel appointments, and to listen to reports from the superintendent. We are not here to make administrative or management decisions pertaining to the daily operations of the district. This is the responsibility of the superintendent. In compliance with the state's government code on open meetings, tonight's agenda has been appropriately posted. This is a meeting in public, not a meeting of the public. As our guests, you are welcome to observe and listen. These proceedings are being video and audio recorded and will become part of Judson's permanent legal record. In order that the tape adequately reflects these proceedings, please silence your mobile devices and refrain from talking while others are speaking. Since it is legally mandated that these proceedings are recorded accurately, I may have to ask for your order periodically should I notice that disruptions are interfering with our recording capabilities. Once again, I extend to each of you a sincere welcome from the entire school board. Thank you for your interest in Judson ISD. We have established a quorum, and I will allow our board to proceed to check in. We do have a quorum, and 2 of our board members are absent tonight, but we do have a quorum. At this time, would you please stand for our roll call, our presentation of our flags.
If everyone could bow your heads for the invocation real quick, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you again, saying thank you for another opportunity to come and make decisions on what's best for the community and the students of Judson ISD, God. We would ask that you be with all of those who have family members who may be sick or injured during this time. We ask for immediate healing in Jesus' name, God. And I would ask as we go into the Thanksgiving break that you place a hedge of protection around all of the community of Judson ISD until we come back together again safely. All these things we ask and pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
If you would please stay standing. Tonight's color guard and presentation of colors is being presented by the Veterans Memorial High School JROTC under the direction of Sergeant First Class Karen Hudson. The following cadets are presenting the colors tonight: United States flag, Cadet First Sergeant Gianna Alicia; Texas flag, Cadet Sergeant First Class Heather Antcliffe; Cadet Second Lieutenant Mariana Cruz, Front Guard; and Cadet Brian Cobbler, Rear Guard. Our pledge leader this evening is Cohen Yount. Cohen is a 5th grader at Franz Elementary. He is a member of the Safety Patrol and the STEM Club. He is a caring, smart, and fun young man who loves to play football and basketball. He also enjoys watching wrestling and spending time with his family. When he grows up, he wants to be a wrestler or a football player. Cohen, thank you so much for leading our pledges.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Ready? Hey! Move!
Thank you, Color Guard. You may be seated, and if we could get Dr. Ball to take a picture with our pledge leader.
Thank you so much. You did an awesome job. Yes, definitely. Let's go into the middle here. And if we can have Cohen's parents or any family, please stand or wave so we can recognize you. These are very important people. These are the board members. So if you want to, you can give them a wave, or you can go give them a fist bump, or just shake their hand, whatever you'd like to do, okay? All right. Thank you for being here. Okay, good wave. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for doing this. Thank you.
Congratulations. You did a great job. You all did a great job. Thank you. You were excellent. Excellent job. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate you so much. Thank you, sir.
You're done? I'm done. I need another picture. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. There might be others in this room that are also celebrating a special day, but this is a very unofficial recognition. But I'd like to wish Brianna a very happy birthday today. Today is her birthday, so I want to wish her a very happy birthday. May God continue to bless her with many more. Thank you. Thanks.
Okay. We've now come to our part of the meeting where we acknowledge our visitors. We have two people signed up for today. The first is Linda Chapman. I'd like to remind all of the speakers over at the podium, ma'am, at the microphone, that you have 3 minutes.
Thank you. My message today is to parents. Do not put these COVID shots in your child. Your child is at a statistically zero risk of serious complications from COVID, but they are an extremely high risk of serious side effects and even death from the shot. We are nearly 2 years into this pandemic, and yes, it is a pandemic. I don't have enough time to go into it, but I'd be happy to talk to you about it after. And anyone who doesn't see the truth at this point and know that they're being lied to is either a participant in the evil themselves or doesn't have the slightest bit of godly discernment. I truly wish we could see the teeth and the horns and all of the people that are complicit with the evil so we would be able to know exactly which is which. Parents need to Google the words Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System, or VAERS, V-A-E-R-S for short, and take a close look at that. In case you're thinking this is some right-wing website that I'm referring you to, let me tell you that the VAERS database is co-managed by the CDC and the FDA. As of November 5th, there is over 18,000 deaths reported from COVID shots. That is more deaths from the COVID shots in only 9 months than all the other vaccines combined over the last 30 years. The VAERS database also shows over 12,000 cases of myocarditis and pericarditis reported from the COVID shot. Those are serious heart conditions. The death rate from myocarditis is up to 20% at 1 year and 50% at 5 years. Why in the world would you even consider injecting your child with some experimental shot, and they are experimental until 2023, all to protect from a virus that they have a statistically 0% chance of having serious injuries from. It makes no sense, and you will have that guilt and sorrow on your hands for the rest of your life. Once you put this poison in your child, you can't take it out. You can't undo it. Oh, and you'll be on your own to deal with the consequences, since the vaccine manufacturers have zero liability. That's right. You can't even sue them. Parents, do your own research. You owe it to your child to take the time to really research this and to properly research this topic. You have to get off the mainstream media sites because they are feeding you lies. Email me at chapman985@hotmail.com, and I will happily refer you to hundreds of doctors who aren't bought and paid for by Big Pharma, and they will tell you the truth about this shot. Another thing I would ask you to do is consider, if you're not already on Telegram, get on Telegram. It's an uncensored site. Facebook is censored. So download the Telegram app and subscribe to San Antonio Freedom Alliance, Max and Vaccines. I repost hundreds of articles, all the different stuff about the what's going on with the COVID stuff. You owe it to your child to do your research. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Tammy Van Horn, Vaccines and Masks.
Hi, my name is Tammy Van Horn. I'm a mother of 7 children and a grandma of 9. I've done extensive research on the vaccine and the masks, neither of which work. 5 of my grandchildren had COVID and had almost no symptoms, mainly a headache for about 2 to 3 days with a fever for about 1 day. They slept the first day and then they were fine. We gave them vitamins and aspirin for their mild symptoms. If you go and get tested and come up positive and go to the doctor, they will not give you anything for COVID. They will tell you to go home, and they will tell you to just take vitamins and call them if you get worse. So if it was so awful, why wouldn't they immediately start giving you all kinds of drugs and things to take care of you? They're not trying to do that. According to statistics, 0 children died from the virus. There was a couple of people, in the beginning they said a couple of kids passed away, but those children were all dying of leukemia or some other terrible disease. They were on their way out, and probably they didn't even have it to begin with, because a lot of the tests came back with false positives in the very beginning. And we've had almost none of them even get sick from it from then. So, however, of course, as my friend just mentioned, 18,461 kids have already died from the vaccine as of November 5th, and over 12,131 myocarditis cases, which is an inflammation of your heart. So basically your heart explodes, have reported in the VAERS data, which reflects less than 1% of all cases. So basically the VAERS data is not being updated as it should have been updated. Most of the doctors don't actually report it because it's too difficult to make the report, and it takes too long. It takes up to 2 to 3 hours to actually report one case, and they have to have all kinds of people backing them up. It's very difficult to even get it on the VAERS data. The children do not need this unnecessary procedure. The data shows how dangerous it is for young people. Judson has always been a leader in scholastic success. I've been in Judson School District for about 27 years. Let's be a leader for Bexar County, Texas, and the world. Save our children. Stop selling them down the river. I know you guys get money for masks, and I know you get money for vaccines, but is it really worth their lives? Is it worth their health? Is it worth their future? I don't think so.
Thank you. We will now move on to item 4, consideration of consent items. And if there are any items that the board wishes for me to pull, just let me know. 4A, consider and take action regarding approving the board minutes from the regular meeting held July 22nd and September the 16th, 2021. B, consider and take action regarding approving monthly financial information as of September 30th, 2021. C, consider and take action regarding approving expenditures equal to or greater than $50,000. D, consider and take action regarding approving budget transfers across expenditure function categories. E, consider and take action regarding approving cash investment report for all funds as of September 30th, 2021. F, Consider and take action regarding approving the vendor name change of a previously approved board agenda item. G, consider and take action regarding approving the Judson Independent School District's annual financial audit report for fiscal year 2021. H, consider and take action regarding approving the Campus Improvement Plan Executive Summary Reports. I, consider and take action regarding approving the targeted improvement plans for the campuses that are implementing state interventions: Kirby Middle School, Metzger Middle School, Woodlake Hills Middle School, Candlewood Elementary, Converse Elementary, Hopkins Elementary, and Olympia Elementary. J, consider and take action regarding approving the Judson ISD and Jewish Family Services Professional Services Agreement. K, consider and take action regarding approving the board self-evaluation instrument for the 2021-2022 school year. Is there a motion for these consent items?
I move we approve the consent items as presented.
Is there a second? Okay, the motion has been moved and seconded, and you may now proceed to vote. Motion passes, 1 abstention, 4-0, and 1 abstention, 4-1, excuse me. We'll move on now to discussion consideration items and action. 5A, consider and take possible action regarding the approval of inductees to the JISD Athletic and Civil Hall of Honor as selected by the Hall of Honor Selection Committee. Dr. Ball?
Yes, I'd like to start off by first thanking these individuals. There was a committee that served on both of these, and they took a lot of time to read the applications and to go through the process. Also love to thank the individuals that nominated individuals, and of course Dr. Taganoff for taking this lead on this, and I think she has some information she'd like to share.
Yes, hi, good evening. We are very excited. We had a Hall of Honor Advisory Committee that commenced last year, and we spent lots of months developing and reevaluating and putting together a program with some criteria that really honors individuals that exemplify what Judson ISD is all about. And so we were able to put those changes into action this year. We even had some students on the selection committee, so they were able to give input on who the district honors and how they give back to the community. So one of the changes that I just want to touch on briefly is that although we do have a rubric, we also made it a requirement for the committee to commence and discuss other criteria that isn't necessarily scored. And those had to do with their contributions back to the district and also their journey towards excellence. So as you can imagine, these nominees for the Civic Hall of Honor and also the Athletic Hall of Honor, there was a lot of really great discussion about these individuals and how wonderful they are. So you should have received just a handout. The committees didn't meet until Monday, so it's not in the board book, but you can see there the results. We had 4 nominees for the Athletic Hall of Honor. The Athletic Hall of Honor Selection Committee met on Monday, November 15th, and they are submitting to you, the board, a recommendation for Roy E. Wallace to be inducted into the Judson ISD Athletic Hall of Honor for 2022. You can see also that we had 6 nominees for the Civic Hall of Honor. The Civic Hall of Honor Selection Committee also met on Monday, November 15th, and they are submitting a recommendation for Edward Franz to be inducted into the Judson ISD Civic Hall of Honor for 2022.
Thank you, Dr. Taganoff. Is there any discussion from the board? I would just like to say, Dr. Taganoff, as one of the members of the Hall of Honor Committee, I thank you for your leadership. All of the meetings that we had by Zoom were very precise, and we did a lot of discussion, but we came to some very good agreements. I am going to support these names that have been recommended And just thank you so much for your leadership.
Thank you, ma'am.
Is there anyone else? Yes, Ms. Canoyer.
I would just like to say that I had the honor of working for Mr. Franz. He was my first principal when I joined Judson ISD, and he's an amazing person, and I'm extremely excited to see that he's going to be honored like this. And unfortunately, I don't know Mr. Wallace, but I know that the committee did a great job deliberating between the nominees, and I'm also excited to be able to welcome him. Thank you for what you've done.
Thank you, ma'am.
Anyone else? All right, at this time then, we need a motion.
I move that we approve the nominees, Roy Wallace for the Hall of Honor Athletic and Edward Franz for the Hall of Honor Civic.
I'll second that motion. Since it has been moved and seconded, at this time, Board, you may proceed to vote. And the motion passes unanimously. Thank you so much, Dr. Taganoff. Moving on to item 5B, consider and take action regarding approving the ballot cast for Bear Appraisal District Board of Directors casting 195 votes by resolution. Dr. Ball?
Yes, ma'am. In the past, the board has always recommended the same person, and that is Ms. Sherry Byram. She is still very interested in doing this, has done this for at least a decade or more, does an excellent job, is requesting the board to continue to support her. So I am asking if the board would please recommend Sherry Byram.
And since Ms. Byram is so wanting to do this, and we are very appreciative to her, I can support Ms. Byram. Is there any other discussion? Well, at this time, Board, you may proceed to vote.
I move that we approve
I'm sorry, thank you so much. Thank you for the motion.
I move that we approve a ballot for Ms. Sherry Bynum by resolution.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded, and now you may proceed to vote. That motion passes unanimously. Congratulations to Ms. Byram. 5C, consider and take possible action by resolution on the sale of the district real property described below pursuant to Local Government Code Chapter 272, and authorize the superintendent or her representative to enter into a real estate agreement with the City of Live Oak, and authorizes the President of the Board of Trustees to execute a deed and other documents necessary to effect the conveyance of the property. Dr. Ball?
Yes, ma'am. There's a very small piece of land that we would like to sell. The district has no use. It's really too small to be used by our district, but Live Oak would like to purchase this piece of land, and we are asking your permission for us to go ahead and move forward with us selling this.
Is there any discussion? Is there a motion? And there is a recommended motion.
Yes.
Mhm.
I move the board adopt a resolution in the form provided by council, authorizing the superintendent to enter into a real estate agreement in a form approved by council for the district with the City of Live Oak to represent the district in connection with the sale of the real property described in the agenda item located in Bexar County, Texas, to authorize the President of the Board of Trustees to execute a deed and other documents necessary to effect the conveyance of the property, and that such executed resolution be appended to the approved minutes of this meeting as a formal record of this action.
Is there a second?
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded, and at this time, you may proceed to vote. That motion passes unanimously, Dr. Paul.
Thank you, ma'am.
Item 5D, consider and take action, possible action, regarding the approval of the changes to the mask mandate set by the board on August the 19th, 2021. Dr. Ball?
Yes, ma'am. Since August the 19th, the district has been following the mandate as closely as possible. Every week we report our numbers our students and for our adults. At this time, I am asking the board to do away with the mandatory mandate for the mask, and for us to highly recommend it, but not to make it mandated, where people will choose to have that right if they choose to wear it or to not wear it. But if something were to happen and the numbers do increase, that the board would give me the authority to put the mandate back in place if we were to rise in the number of COVID cases, and in the best interest and safety for our students, if we were to need it, that you would give me the authority to put the mask mandate in place. But for now, we would go ahead and suspend the mask mandate, and hopefully the numbers will continue to decrease.
Any discussion?
Yes, I have a couple of questions. Well, maybe just one question and then comments. So when would this go into effect? Would this go into effect tomorrow or starting after the break?
It would go into effect immediately. We're
Okay.
we're prepared to send out some information right after this meeting. So we would want, I think all the principals and everybody are eager to find out this.
Mhm.
So we would want it to go into effect tomorrow.
Okay, thanks. So I don't think it's too much of a secret that I've been fully supportive of having a mask mandate in the district. But I also recognize that case numbers are more stable now, and the vaccine is widely available for most of our school-age children. And I understand the difficulty in enforcing and a mask mandate, so that I understand.
Yes, ma'am, and we're very pleased to say that we will be offering the vaccine. We are offering it, not mandating that, but it will be offered here at Judson ISD.
Any other discussion? Yes, ma'am.
I also support this at this time because we have seen a reduction in the numbers, but I do want to express my concern about being very vigilant after the holidays. We know that we expect massive amounts of travel and visiting, and people tend to be less careful. And so I would request that you carefully watch those numbers as we come back from not just Thanksgiving break, but also the Christmas vacation, the winter holidays. Should we see a rising number, that you do go ahead and put that back in effect.
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Ball, I'd just like to say thank you very much for giving us those numbers weekly in our Superintendent Friday notes. I look at it every week to see
Yes, ma'am.
whether it has increased or decreased. What I'd like to know is when you are also sending the Monday messages, do they get those same charts that we get?
No, ma'am, I just have been providing that to the board.
Okay. And okay, so it is not anywhere on our website for parents to see? Or?
There is a TEA. We have to report those numbers to TEA, and we do
Yes,
that.
yes.
So there is a public website where people could look at that information.
Do we have anything in the newsletters that we send out to parents or that reiterates that website, that they have the leisure and the freedom to go and look at that at any time that they like?
No, ma'am, but we will include that. We will start to include that.
Okay.
Mhm.
Just to give parents the option of looking it up and doing their own research and knowing what this district looks like.
Yes, ma'am, I will make sure we put that out right away.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion for item D?
I move that we suspend the temporary mandate with the recommendations to students and staff to continue with mask wearing if they choose to do so, and also that we authorize the superintendent to reimpose the mandate should she deem it necessary.
Thank you for that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. At this time, board, you may proceed to vote.
And Madam President, while everybody's voting, if I could just put in the plug to anybody that's watching, immediately that we come back from the Thanksgiving break on November 30th through December the 9th, it's going to be, of course, free for our students, our elementary students, to receive the COVID vaccine. Of course, it's an opportunity that parents may choose to take advantage of. but we will be sending home flyers, the copy of the registration form, all the necessary paperwork that parents need to complete that so they can have easy access if they would like their child to be safe and vaccinated.
And that is, give me that date again, please.
Yes, ma'am. November 30th through December the 9th, Judson ISD is offering the vaccines, and all our elementary campuses will receive COVID vaccine opportunities. We're doing this prior to the winter break, and we will be sending home the paperwork that it's a consent form that parents would need to fill that out. We'll be getting this out to all our communities virtually through our website, Facebook, all our social media to let parents know that this is a great opportunity.
Thank you. Let the record show that this motion passed 4-1 with one abstention. Item E is a closed session item. We will move on to item 6, discussion items and reports. A, Superintendent Report, Bilingual ELL, and Systems of Great Schools. Dr. Ball.
Yes, ma'am. As we have promised and we've been doing every month, we have been providing information on specific topics to the board. And tonight, Ms. Richardson is going to provide some information in the area of bilingual and ELL students. Thank
Thank you, Dr. Ball. Good evening, board members, Dr. Ball, community members. Today is my privilege to bring to you the Bilingual and ESL Education Program Report for the 2021-2022 school year. Before we get started, I just wanted to make the board and the community aware that this last legislative session, the Senate passed the bill 2066, in which they changed the name in which we refer to our students. We call them English learners or limited English proficiency students. The name has been changed to emergent bilingual. So throughout my presentation, you'll hear me refer to our English learners as emergent bilinguals, as Senate Bill 2066. Here at Judson ISD, we have the honor and the privilege of serving 2,000, there we go. Okay. We have the honor and the privilege of serving 2,625 emergent bilinguals as of today. Now, the number of emergent bilingual students enrolled in Judson ISD continues to increase every year. As you can see, in the year 2017, we had 1,876, and that number has continued to increase every year. We anticipate that this trend will continue as the years go by. Now, we have a variety of ways that we serve and provide academic excellence to our bilingual emergent students. We offer a variety of language programs, such as our Dual Language One-Way program. This program is where we serve emergent bilinguals, where they are learning both English and Spanish with a bilingual certified teacher. We offer this program at Bashal Elementary, Crestview Elementary, Spring Meadows, and Mary Hartman. We also have a dual language two-way program in which we serve in both English and Spanish emergent bilinguals in conjunction with Spanish learners, students that see the value of learning a second language and they want to learn Spanish, and they are served in the same classroom with emergent bilinguals, served by a bilingual certified teacher, and we offer that program at Coronado Village and Hopkins Elementary. We also offer English as a second language in both elementary and secondary campuses. We follow a content-based model, which we strive to have all core content area teachers be ESL certified in the elementary classrooms. And in our secondary campuses, we have a designated ESL teacher that provides linguistic, academic, and social-emotional support to our emergent bilinguals and works in conjunction with the core
content teachers to help our students navigate secondary education. We're proud to say that 100% of our Judson ISD campuses offer ESL instruction and programming for our emergent bilinguals. Now, we're also extremely proud and very grateful to the board and Dr. Ball for allowing us to listen to our community and really be in touch with the needs. Our community, it's a very invested community that has realized the importance of learning Spanish. So we have a great number of monolingual, native English-speaking students that really want to learn Spanish. So we have created a Spanish immersion program specially designed for students that want to learn Spanish. This is an enrichment program that starts in first grade, and that's where they learn Spanish from a bilingual certified teacher, and it's provided at Hartman Elementary and also at Wortham Oaks Elementary. So now let's talk about how our students doing. So I wanna bring your attention to the columns in the blue are columns that from 2019, and the columns in red are from 2021, this last spring. This is our district TELPAS results. TELPAS is the Texas English Language Proficiency Assessment. This is how the state makes sure that we are helping our emergent bilinguals become English language proficient. It's not a pass or fail. It's just lets us know where in their journey of acquiring English our students are at. If I can bring your attention to the very first column, we can see that in 2019, that is the column that has the students that did not take the test. In 2019, we had 100% participation. This test is this assessment is given within a month period. So within that month, all of our campuses are able to take care and assess our students. In 2021, TEA gave parents the choice of participating in the assessment or not, and we can see that 26% of our students did not participate. So that will make our percentages a little different than in the past because we had less participation. Now, if you look at the beginning column, which is the second column, you can see the number of students that scored in the beginning category is high. And that we can attribute that directly to the high increase of newcomers or students that are coming from other countries from all around the world that have joined our Judson community. As of yesterday, we have 317 newcomer students participating in secondary education in our schools right now. Now, these kiddos come from all over the world and are learning English, and therefore they're at the beginning stages of their language acquisition journey. If we look at the following columns, we can see that our students scored intermediate, advanced, or advanced high more in 2019 than in 2021, which is a testimony that when they're with us, and they come every day, and they're listening, speaking, reading, and writing in English, their English language proficiency increases. About 50% of our emergent bilinguals were virtual students last year. So we are excited that we are able to have them all year with us this year, and we anticipate that our TELPAS numbers will be much better because they are here with us participating in language acquisition instruction every day. Now, following a national and statewide trends, our students have also had a decrease in their achievement in math, reading, and science. Now, in a minute, I will tell you what we're going to do about it. We take this decrease in their achievement extremely serious, and we have very targeted things that we're doing this year to allow our students to go back to the levels they were. Our students are historically are able to hang in there with their monolingual peers, and we believe that with the right intervention, they will be there again. I want to bring your attention to our social studies 8th grade results, because there's a lot of wins here that I would like to mention. In 2019, we realized that our students were doing, our emergent bilinguals were doing comparable to their peers in reading, math, and science, but not in social studies. social studies was an area in which they were not being very successful. So we devised a plan and partnered with all of our amazing 8th grade social studies teachers in all of our middle schools and provided them with sheltered instruction strategies and tools and language acquisition resources. We also encouraged them to become ESL certified. And as we've done that, you can see that even though the approaches went down, it only went down for 5 percentage points. Our meets actually went up. And our masters just went down 1 percentage point. So in spite of the COVID season of our lives and times where the students were not here, by having our teachers trained and using those sheltered instruction strategies that reach all students, we were able to still see gains in our meets category and not be the gap not that wide in our other categories. So we were very positive that we're going to see great results as we continue to do these things with our teachers this year. So now, what are we going to do? What is our plan for student growth? We have divided a two-pronged approach. How we're going to support our students, it will have to be through teacher support and through community and student support. For our teachers who are at the front lines, working every day with these amazing students, we have provided and developed additional evidence-based language arts curriculum in both English and Spanish. I'm incredibly honored and I'm very proud of the work that we've done in our curriculum, where we've provided our teachers with everything they need to help our students through this language journey, that they are able to be successful in both languages. We're also doing ongoing specialized professional development and instructional coaching. I think as of today, I have personally have provided shelter training in PLCs, after-school meetings, or throughout special times to 23 of our 30 campuses. And it's our goal that by the end of the year, we have been in every campus spreading the word of how sheltered instruction can help everyone. We're encouraging our teachers to become ESL certified. And we have trainers that we have sent to be trained in our department that provide the ESL certification classes. So once a month, we have classes where teachers can come. We have practice tests. We have resources. We walk them through the tests so they are able to be successful. And once they've taken the test and pass it, we will reimburse them for the price, the cost of the test, and to put it in their certificate. These have proven to be a very successful program, as we have had over 79 teachers as of this, from January to now, calendar year, have become ESL certified and taken advantage of their reimbursement program. Last but not least, we have a biliteracy cohort for the Texas Reading Academies. As you know, House Bill 3 has required that we do reading academies for all teachers in K through 3rd administrators as well. Many districts in our surrounding areas have chosen to only provide the English Reading Academy. I want to thank Dr. Ball and our curriculum leadership for seeing the value in biliteracy and making the investment on having a biliteracy cohort for the Texas Reading Academy, which I am honored to be the leader and the instructor for the teachers. So we are not only learning how to be better instructors on how to teach reading, the science of reading, but we are doing it with the biliteracy twist. So we know how to teach our emerging bilinguals how to read in English and Spanish. And that is great support. Our teachers are excited for this opportunity. Now, what are we doing for our community and our students? Well, as I said before, we have a lot of newcomers and a lot of families that are coming from all over the world that want to have teacher and parent conferences, that want to attend parent meetings on campus, but language becomes a barrier. So we have partnered with several organizations throughout our community to provide translation services for parents for 10 languages other than Spanish. And so if we have a student from Vietnam whose parents want to have a parent-teacher conference, we've partnered with translation services. So an interpreter can join the meeting. And we found community members being thrilled and excited because we're making them feel welcome. this is a place for them to be, and language is not going to be an impediment for that. So we're also purchased language development software for newcomers to take home and do it with their families. We've purchased Rosetta Stone licenses so they can take it home, and the special headphones, and so they can do language learning that sometimes they don't have time to do at school, but they can do it at home. And we check their activity. These kiddos are using it every day. We're continuing the Latino Family Literacy Project. This year will be expanded to all of our dual language campuses. This is a project in which we use our cultural diverse Latinx community and their beautiful cultural resources and literacy, and we marry that with literacy. So we have our teachers lead it. It's one evening a month, and it turns out to be a fantastic time for community building and literacy learning. And we have literacy nights, where we are helping our parents know how they can do to help their students be successful in school. So now these are the things that we're doing right now, and these are the things that we believe will really create that will create the environment where our students will thrive, not only academically, but emotionally and culturally as well. So I'd like to share with you a really short video that hopefully will highlight some of the things that are happening in our classrooms today.
At Judson ISD, our mission is to provide an environment that promotes biliteracy, bilingualism, and biculturalism for all students participating in our language programs. The underlying goal is to prepare students for the future with the abilities to speak, listen, read, and write in 2 languages, and foster appreciation for diversity and inclusion. Our Judson ISD students in dual language and Spanish immersion participate in a rigorous academic program that uses 2 languages, Spanish and English, aimed at developing students with a multilingual learning perspective. Judson ISD is proud to serve our diverse and multilingual community by providing language programs that help our bilingual students to be successful in the classroom and in life.
Thank you so much for your time. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer any, if any.
Ms. Richardson, I don't have any questions. I just want to say thank you for your presentation, and I'm just very pleased about the improvements that have been made in the program.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate you.
I had a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
What are the languages that we're offering translation in? Can you give me a couple of it? You don't have
Yes,
to give a comprehensive
the most
list, but-
common ones are the 5. We have services for 10, about 12, but the top 5 are Vietnamese, Swahili, Arabic, Pashto, and of course I missed that, Pashto. And Creole. We have Haitians, so Creole. You bet. Thank you. Thank you.
Item 6B, discuss district bullying, and C, we're tabling for...
2.
Pardon me?
I haven't done 2.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay, no problem.
Thank you, thank you.
li-
A2 is System of Grade Schools.
Yes, Ceci Davis will be providing this information, and just wanted to share that all of this started with a grant that Ceci wrote, applied for, and was awarded. So this wasn't just something that we stumbled upon or something that every district was given. This was something that Ceci spent a lot of time and dedication on writing in order to be able to provide this for our district. So I'd like to thank her and her team, and then she will now share a little bit about it with us.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ball. Good evening, Madam President, Dr. Ball, and Board of Trustees. It is my pleasure tonight to share with you an introduction into the System of Great Schools and an overview of the work of the System of Great Schools Network for this first year. As Dr. Ball mentioned, The System of Great Schools Network here in Judson ISD, we are privileged to have been the recipient of this grant. We are one of 20 school districts within the state of Texas, of over 1,200 school districts, that have received this grant. And what this grant awards us is an opportunity to participate in professional learning communities with the other 20 districts that have received this grant. It provides us technical assistance in the form of partnering us with executive advisors. So they partner us with an executive advisor for the leadership team. And these specifically, our executive advising firm is called Kitamba, and they become our running partner and our project manager with anything that we want to do as far as school improvement is concerned. And they also offer us technical advisors. In this case, we are partnered with Transcend, and they become the technical assistance providers for the campuses. And we have 2 campuses here today that we'll be sharing with you more specifics in just a few minutes. Part of this 4-year partnership under the Systems of Great Schools, or SGS, as I'll be referring to it further on, it also provides us support in applying for further grants. So since we've received this grant at the beginning of this school year, we have since also applied for a School Action Fund grant and have been awarded $1.5 million to enact on 2 campuses for school improvement. And those 2 campuses are Metzger Middle School and Park Village. And those 2 principals will shortly share with you their journey that they just began about a month ago, and their 3-year journey that they'll transpire in to become a TEA branded blended learning campus. So once you're part of the System of Great Schools, you're part of a network that will continue to self-fund through grants. We continue applying for grants. Once you're in that network, you're part of the support of the grants. So you apply for major grants called School Action Fund grants that will continue to fund this work. And those resources are used specifically for creating innovative structures within the school to transform the schools and focus on school improvement and providing increasing high-quality seats. And when we refer to the term high-quality seats, we're talking about increasing the seats of A and B campuses, the number of seats placing students in A and B campuses. So what is the System of Great Schools, or SGS, strategy? It's simple. It's a district-level problem-solving approach that's used to understand school performance and community demand, and to deliver the schools that our families want and need in our communities. So the SGS strategy relies on 4 primary levers. So number 1, if we start with number 9 on the clock, we analyze school performance. And that is something that a school district does all the time. What we do under SGS is they have additional resources that they provide. So they allow us to view school performance in a different way. When we're partnered with our executive advisors, they of course bring in the big guns and different ways to view analytics. And then lever number 2, we want to focus on expanding great options. Every district, especially Judson ISD, we are already doing some things well. How do we ensure then that lever number 3, we improve access to all of our students for the options that we offer? So, and then finally, lever number 4, how do we create new organizational structures in that district that once the SGS we're no longer partnered with, that we can continue to sustain that in the future? So why do we want to pursue the SGS strategy? Once Dr. Ball joined the school district, we immediately started talking about school of choice. We started talking about becoming an open enrollment district, about allowing students to join schools that they weren't necessarily zoned to. That is what SGS is. We want, the mission is to increase the number of students in high quality seats. You don't necessarily want to go just to the school that you're sewn to. If there's a program in another school that you're interested in, well, we want to provide that access. And so we want to provide high quality schools and provide options that are best fit for children. And so the key question for the board and for the administration is, how do we start building that winning academic identity? We are known for that winning athletic identity, and we are focusing on building that winning academic identity as well. And through this strategy, we're able to do so. So how does the SGS strategy work? It focuses on 4 premises. Number 1, our children and our families experience the schools directly, not necessarily the school district. And that's why it's so important that each school offers their best. That's why it's so important that we analyze the programs that we're offering and that we look at where our students are going, what programs we're offering, if our students are leaving, why are they leaving, what is that school offering that they're going to, should we be offering that? Those are the key questions that we ask when we're analyzing school performance under different analytics. Second premise, it encourages openness to pursuing all possible school options. Later on, down the road, as I present more to you about the work of SGS, we're going to talk about some of the school actions, bold school actions that the district can consider as we are talking about improving school performance. So it encourages openness to pursuing all possible school options. And then third premise is to design coherent specialized school models. And you've probably heard about blended school models, and if not, you'll be hearing about it today because we're undertaking two campuses will be undertaking a redesign for blended learning. There's other specialized school models that we will be looking at to bring into our district. And then finally, it works under the premise that we need to empower our families to make choices that are best fit for their children's needs and expanding the access to those families. So, for example, yes, we offer open enrollment to all schools, but not everyone truly has the access to all schools. So as we undergo our work with SGS, we will consider enrollment. We will consider transportation. How do we increase the access truly, operationally, to all of our campuses? So it goes beyond just academics, and it truly considers the operational function of the district as well. So what does the SGS work look like? First and foremost, we have to set the right North Star goal. And just this last week, the senior staff engaged with Kitamba, our executive advising team, in looking at our quality seats analysis, which is the first part of our annual portfolio process to start setting our right North Star goal, which is always trying to increase the number of students in more best fit, high quality schools every year. And so that might look something like, we haven't set it yet, we're in the process, but it might look something like if we have about 30% of our students in A and B schools, then in 5 years, our goal is to double the number of students sitting in A and B schools and no longer have any D or F schools. That is what a North Star goal looks like. It's a general goal related to school improvement about what we want for our community. Then we conduct an annual portfolio planning process. Of course, this is a cyclical process where we develop a QSA, quality seats analysis. And what that looks like is something like this. What you're looking at there is just 2 screens of multiple screens. But QSA is the foundation to building an annual portfolio plan for the district. A QSA facilitates strategic decisions that involves different stakeholders, and it helps ask the right questions to focus on appropriate school actions. A Quality seats analysis focuses on academic achievement, trends, enrollment trends, demographics, you name it. Things that we need to start looking at that helps us ask the right questions. It's not necessarily about, well, where did our students go? And that's important to know, but it should help us ask, why did our students go there? What are they offering that we should be offering? So it really helps us engage in that process of then what should be our next steps for Judson ISD. That is really the kind of thinking that we want to engage in with that QSA. So after conducting the annual portfolio planning process, we definitely want to engage our community, and we do it a little bit different with the SGS strategy. We focus on small focus groups and interview processes that just include more of an individualized approach, because sometimes if we just invite people to come, that might not necessarily be the best approach. So it's very strategic in how we organize community input. And then once we do all of that and we analyze all of our data, the school district and leadership decides which school actions to improve upon, which schools to redesign. Do we need a restart on a school? Do we need to create a new school? And all of this, remember, with funding from grants. And so we decide what bold actions to take, create, expand those great options. And then we want to empower our families through school choice and through helping them access those supports. We want our families to understand what we offer, we want to help them enroll in our programs, and we want to ensure that they truly have access to our great schools. And part of the SGS requirement is to launch an Office of Innovation. Last month, our board approved launching the Office of Innovation. And so that is one part that will help sustain this work here, to create that dedicated office so that this can be sustainable. So where are we now? So far, the work from August through December, as you take a look at this timeline, the overall SGS strategy, we've had our initial kickoff, we've reviewed our current strategic plan, and we're currently focusing on setting a North Star goal with our administrative team. We've conducted our quality seats analysis, which is the first step to conducting our annual portfolio plan. And with that, we are in the process of seeking out a Chief Innovation Officer or Chief Transformation Officer to launch the Office of Innovation. So according to TEA and the last formative progress that they've provided us, we are definitely on track. And then looking ahead, we are now focusing on 2 campuses that are engaging in a blended learning redesign. That blended learning redesign is in Metzger and Park Village right now. What that process looks like is we take campuses specifically in order to participate. They needed to be a campus that was a comprehensive or targeted improvement, which is a federal label. And those campuses are given the opportunity to engage in this process. It is a 3-year journey, and they're going to talk to you a little bit about the journey. And I do believe that you received an additional document that really details that journey in great detail. But it is a model. Blended learning is truly a pedagogical model that allows students to become self-directed learners, but it also allows them an opportunity to collaborate with their peers, and it also allows them to become great in technology, which allows them to individualize their learning. Not only that, but it also allows them to really transform the environment physically in which they're in. So each year they receive $250,000. This first year they're in their planning phase, and with that money they can plan any way they want. part of this process is the campus and the superintendent can grant them autonomies, because as you can see that bottom part, per TEA, they must embed those components as the campus plans their blueprint and their design. So they must embed blended learning, they must embed high quality instructional materials, they must embed high dosage tutoring, a social emotional well-being component, and extended time. How? That is not defined by TEA. That is defined by the design team on that campus. And I'm going to now invite Principal Loretta Davidson and Principal Sharon Balderas to share a little bit more with you about their design journey. Yes, ma'am, Miss Eaton.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
You said it's a 3-year program?
Their specific blended learning is a 3-year. The entire SGS program is a 4-year.
Okay. So what grade would it start at in order to get the feedback to know, if what their plan is working? What grade are they going to start at?
All grade levels.
Oh, okay,
yes.
Cool.
All grade levels, yes.
Thank you.
But they can share more, and you can ask them more questions.
Hello, good evening. And thank you so much for this opportunity for us to share with you the work that is happening at our schools. We are so excited to be here and share this. About a month ago, as Ms. Davis had said, she provided myself and Mrs. Davison the wonderful news that our campuses, Metzger Middle School and Park Village Elementary, I just changed it, right, were awarded the SGS grant. Both of us were very ecstatic about the start of this and the change that what it's going to bring for our campus. This grant is providing us opportunity to transform our campuses through the support and the partnership with Transcend into a blended learning campuses. Our journey began shortly after the news with a visit to Victoria ISD to witness firsthand the work of the SGS grant and the blended learning in action. We were able to visit classrooms that were in their second year of the blended learning implementation, as well as speak with the leadership and ask any questions. And trust me, we asked lots. And we were able to learn about their journey. We were able to learn how they got their campus community involved in and on board with the redesign, because that's a big part of it through the design teams. How they spent their grant funds, because that's a lot of money, and we want to be very strategic about spending that, and where they got their most success with the money they spent and what they chose to spend it on, and then what challenges they faced in year one. So at this time, I'm going to let Ms. Davison come up and share with you where we are at in the process. So this is how we got the information, and she's going to share with you the process where we're at and the next steps.
Good evening. As Ms. Balderas said, we are very excited to be part of this, especially from Metzger Middle School. We have been a blended learning campus for the last 2 years, so we are familiar with the process, but this just expands it even more. How the process works for us now on the campus is we meet with our Transcend advisor. Her name is Alicia. We meet with her once a week on Zoom. It's a set meeting, and it's myself and my administration team. And this year is a 5-year phase. We are kind of in the middle of phase 1 and phase 2. So we're kind of moving out of 1 and into 2. And so we've already had our kickoff, which was we had to introduce all of the pretty much what Ms. Davis did today to our staff and to our community. And so with the phase 2 now, we are launching our design teams. And our design teams, as Ms. Davis explained, is part of those 5 pieces. We'll have those as part of our design teams. And we're now in the process of interviewing. And we have chosen people that we wanted to interview that would give us the best help. They will be able to highlight the problems that we might encounter, give us some ideas. And the interviews, They take almost an hour, so it's not something that you just quickly ask them. It's very in-depth interviewing that we will do. And so we are required by TEA to send in a draft of our blueprint by January. So we kind of have to have an idea of what our design teams have decided that the campus is going to look like. And so that needs to be done by January, and that's just a draft. So, and then by the end of the year, by the summertime, we will have to have the completed draft, and TA will have to have approved it. So we have this year to put it all into process. And again, we are very excited to reimagine the schools just to be given this opportunity. So if you have any questions or...
Do any of you have any questions? I will say that part of the blueprint, it does have to come to the board for approval, as well as the autonomies process, because as they engage in some of this, they will need some autonomies. For example, a part of the budget that they receive, they will need some autonomies in that, and that's part of the authorization for these types of campuses within the SGS grant. So that will come to the board in future months. Do you have any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Well, first of all, congratulations, Ms. Balderas and Ms. Davidson.
That's exciting for us.
Oh, yes. And Ms. Davidson, you mentioned that you not only had a meeting with your staff at Metzger, but also the community. In what way did you alert and engage the community?
Well, once a month, we have what we call a Mustang meetup, and it's on Zoom, and we've continued that. And so I did that with our last Zoom meeting with our parents, because the parents they always have questions. What are you doing? How are you getting out of, the predicament that we're in? And so I was glad to be able to share with my parents that we are excited about this opportunity. And a couple parents in the chat said, please please interview me. So we were very excited about that.
So even the parents can be interviewed?
Yes.
Oh, excellent. Thank you. Ms. Eaton?
Dr. Ball.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Dr. Ball.
Yes, ma'am.
Just a quick question. Will both of the campuses still receive their total allotment of funding, or will this grant diminish their resources in any way?
No, ma'am. They will not. Their resources stay the same from what the district provides. This is an additional support.
Oh, that's really good. Really good. Thank you, ma'am.
I just want to congratulate you all. Ms. Davis, I truly appreciate the fact that you're going out and looking for these ways to help us. We know that as much as we would like to do everything in-house, the funding is not always there. And I'm very excited to see the blueprints that you're going to bring to us, to see what y'all have in mind for transforming these schools. We know that some of our other schools have been working on other models as well. So I'm really excited to see that we can continue to offer great experiences and education for our students. So thank you for your hard work. I know this is extra on top of what you already do, and we truly appreciate that. Thank you.
I had a question as well.
Oh, go right ahead.
Thank you. Well, I have a couple of questions. First, yes, congratulations. This is a very big deal for our district and your campuses. My first question is, how was blended learning chosen as the model that you wanted to do? And is Transcend, this is more of a clarifying question, is Transcend like an expert in blended learning, or they're just here, like they're experts in school redesign and that's the support they're giving?
So blended learning redesign is one of the school models that TEA assigns under SGS. One of the school actions that we selected. It's one of the easier of the school actions, really to get your feet wet. There are bolder school actions that you can learn about later. And then Transcend, once they decide, okay, so they say, okay, Judson ISD, which school action are you going to take first? with the School Action Fund. We said blended learning redesign. They assign us a technical advisor based on their experience. So because we said blended learning redesign, they assigned us Transcend. For executive advisor, we had the choice of selecting a couple. I have worked with a few CIOs that had mentioned Kitamba's work. Transcend is not necessarily an expert in blended learning. They're an expert in turning around schools.
And my other question is, what's the overlap or complement to the work we're doing with Holdsworth? Or how are these different or similar? I'm just curious about that.
So these specific campuses are not part of Holdsworth. So we're trying to share all the resources that we do have, so schools get something. So so these two are not part of Holdsworth.
When we look at the annual portfolio plan, one of the things we want to look at is exactly what kind of action already the district is taking in-house. So if a campus is in Holdsworth, that's truly an in-house action. If a campus is undergoing a TIP, that's a schoolhouse action. So we want to make sure that we select campuses perhaps that are either not receiving an in-district action or need additional support because they might be comprehensive.
And my last question is a super detailed question, so if you don't have an answer right now, that's totally fine, and you can come back to me on it. But on one of the previous slides, there were some statistics about where students were going from our district, and one of the top ones was Hallsville ISD, which is like, I Googled it, it's way up by Longview. Is there a military base nearby? Is that like military transfers that are making that happen? Or there were like 100 students. I thought it was real weird.
I don't know.
Okay.
I really don't know why they're
Sorry to
they're
put
going
you on
there.
the spot with that one, but I
Can
thought
you
it
go
was...
back to that slide real
Sure.
quick so I could see it real quick, because that did not stick out to me, so maybe.
It's number 11 on that list.
Hallsville ISD.
All the other ones were local.
But
Yeah, I don't know that
Well,
school
look,
district, but I can find out.
Thank you. That was all the questions I had.
I have one.
Is there anyone else?
So you pretty much answered my question on how these two campuses were selected, and so congratulations to you guys. I'm really excited to see this at these two campuses, and excited to see more about blended learning, though. I learned a little bit about that at a professional development a couple of months ago, and so I'm just excited to see it at these two campuses, so congrats.
Thank you. Again, just thank you, Ceci, for starting this, for writing it, and then for the principals to accept the challenge. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to items B and C. They will be tabled until next month. So we will move on to item D, Policy 8, Update 118, Affecting Local Policies, first reading. Dr. Ball?
Yes, ma'am. It's just a standard packet that we give the board from TASB. This is just the first reading. If there's any questions or comments, just let me know, and I'd be happy to answer those at your pleasure and your convenience.
Okay, I guess everybody's had a chance to read them all. Item E, Statement of Impact Amendment submitted. Oh, okay. Ms. Eaton?
This just so you don't get stressed about it. Up there in that area, we have Barksdale Air Force Base, Red River Army Depot, and there's two more. There's four military bases right there. So
Thank you, ma'am. That makes a lot of sense. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Eaton. Policy update. Does anybody have any discussion about the first reading? Item E, Board Advisory Committees. Is there an update on any Board Advisory Committees? Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on with me tonight. Statement of impact, item E, statement of impact amendment submitted by Celebrate Dyslexia Schools Charter School. Dr. Ball?
There are standard letters that we get of them informing us that there could be a possible charter school moving into our area.
And
Nothing.
specializes in dyslexia.
So they say, ma'am.
Item F. I'm sorry, I didn't mean for you all to hear that.
Our district does a great job with our dyslexia students. I just
Yes,
want to
we
put a
do.
plug in on that. We have certified academic language therapists
Absolutely.
at all our campuses, which is state of the art.
And we have excellent dyslexia teachers. Item F, update on board advisory committees. Have there been any? I haven't had any. G, update on board trainings, conferences, events, and consider future agenda items requests by board members. I will say that after speaking with Mr. Macias, he is in agreement with us tabling the two items, 6B and C, until the next meeting.
Yes, ma'am. We'll go ahead and add those to next month,
December.
December.
All right, this leads
Oh,
us to...
I had
Go right
board
ahead.
training.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go right ahead.
So this past weekend, I went to Austin from Thursday through Saturday as part of the Leadership TASB training. We did a lot of different things, including visiting the campus of Houston-Tillotson University, which is a historically black college. I was really excited to find out that they were in attendance at our Tuesday college fair as well. And they were very excited and impressed by Judson ISD. They were familiar with us. We also toured Hutto ISD, which is a rapid growth district right outside of Austin, and learned a lot about their facilities planning, how they've used bond funds to be very forward thinking about the growth in their district. So that was a very interesting thing. And then each participant in the cohort of 36 people takes a turn presenting about their district. So this time it was my turn. I presented about Judson ISD and some of the initiatives that we've had in our district, and people had lots of questions about our pre-K initiatives. And I think that was the thing that stood out to them most. I mean, they were impressed by everything that I said, of course. But I think that was the one that stood out to people as being something unique that other districts have not done yet. And so they asked me lots of questions, I think, to think about how they might be able to do that in their districts as well. So it was a great experience. The next one is going to be in February in Corpus Christi.
Thank you, Ms. Rodriguez. You'll have to share with us what you shared with them at Leadership TASB.
Say again?
You'll have to share with us what you shared with them at Leadership TASB.
I'll send my Google slides. They were, I got a lot of help from the communications
Had you ever been to
department.
Houston-Tillotson before?
I had not.
It's a good school.
Yeah.
And I have a cousin that happens to teach there.
Oh, hey.
Yes.
I just wanted to say that I didn't run or walk, but I did attend the Jeff Foundation Wobble and Gobble, and I just want to thank all the participants and all the volunteers and everyone who worked so hard to make that a great event. The turnout was approximately 200 people in the race itself, and then in the afternoon we had the food bank distribution that we partnered with for families in the area. And so we truly want to thank everybody who participated and who helped with that great event. And Ms. Greathouse did an amazing job with her team getting it all organized. So I want to give kudos.
Absolutely. Anyone else?
Yesterday I was at the Bexar County School Boards Coalition meeting. Got to go finally to that. There was a representative there from Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. And so the rep was just talking about the training that they do, security training, prevention, response. And so he'll be providing that PowerPoint to each.
Very good. Thank you so much. Ms. Eden.
I have a question.
Okay. For whom?
I beg your pardon?
For whom? Oh, okay.
can we mention something personal during this time? A thank you?
Sure.
Oh, okay. At this time, I would like to thank Dr. Ball and the board and staff for the flowers and the cards during this time. It's really been kind of strange for me, the way the events have unfolded, and it's kind of left me in a fog for about a month or so now. But things are coming together. We've taken care of 2 of the funerals. We have 1 left, and that one's on the 6th of December. And then my baby brother, the stroke was on the the left side of his brain, so it affected the right side of his body. So, but he's in a rehab center now. So he hasn't been able to really talk yet or walk, but he's getting stronger each day. But I just wanted to thank everybody for all the prayers, the cards, the letters, and the flowers. Thank you so much.
And we're going to still keep you in our thoughts and prayers, Ms. Eaton. All right, we are now going into closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.074, discussing personnel, the personnel report, and updates including new hires, resignations, and administrative appointments. And also B, pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.071, attorney consultation regarding legal issues related to potential, anticipated, or pending construction litigation and construction issues. At this time, it is 7:30 p.m., and we will move into closed session.
Mike, you too. Okay, perfect.
Okay, we are calling this meeting back to order in open session at 8:20 p.m. Item 8, consider and take possible action regarding the personnel report and updates, including new hires, resignations, and administrative appointments. Is there a motion?
I move we accept the personnel report as presented.
And
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. At this time, Board, you may proceed to vote. And that motion passes unanimously. And there is no action for item B. So at this time, at 8:21, this meeting is adjourned. And I would just like to say, I'm sure I'm not going to see any of you all tomorrow. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.